Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I have recently started recollecting Transformers, and it made me want to watch the series. So I made the time because I realised I hadn't watched the series since probably I bought it on DVD about 15 years ago. I bought the separate volumes, and everyone remembers when they first came out, they were done in half-season volumes from America, and then these silver hard sort of cardboard boxes with some special features. They were nice, but they took forever to come out. And then as soon as they did, they released them locally with nicer packaging, half seasons again. And then eventually they released this box set, which I got, even though I had all the individual seasons twice, because it was nice and neat and small and just nice to look at. But then I ended up buying all the remastered versions. So I have all the remastered versions, and I replaced all the discs in the packaging, because they came in two nice, neat little armory cases or whatever these are called or whatever. So you got, season 1, 2, season 3 and 4, and room to actually slip the movie in there. So they left an extra thing in there for knowing that we'd all buy it. They couldn't sell it in the collection, but they knew we'd buy it and want to put it in there, so that was nice. But I actually ended up watching the YouTube versions because there's a whole bunch of Transformers episodes, like basically the whole season 1, 2, 3 and 4, but they're done as, I think they're 720, and they look better than, I think they look better than the DVD version. It's hard to tell. I was sort of looking at them and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go with these because there seems to be some pixelation from being compressed with the DVDs, but I'm not sure if it was the digital versions of them that I was watching. Either way, I ended up watching the season and it held up better than I remember, and this is probably the season I remember the most because I actually had the Transformers sticker book, which had, I think, half of the season. It's 16 episodes. It had about 8 episodes in here, so I've looked over these a million times, and I've looked at stills from these episodes a million times, and it was so weird whenever one of the moments would come up that was one of the stickers in the book, and I'm like, oh my god, that's, it's weird. But it held up better than I thought, better than I remembered. There's not a lot of inconsistency in the first season. It's 16 episodes. They weren't trying to go too far of anything. They didn't go sci-fi. They didn't go. They didn't jump any sharks or anything. Basically, we start off with the story of the Transformers coming to Earth. Now, the main issue I have with that is the 4 million years gap between when they crashed into the volcano and when it erupted. It's just, I don't know what they thought they were doing, having millions of years between them and Cybertron. Did they not know they were going to go back to Cybertron and have to explain how Cybertron existed for 3 million years without the other Transformers? I think in the comics, they ran out of power and shut down, and they basically waited until the Transformers got in contact with them and they were able to get power from, I think, Earth, that they actually started up the planet again. I think that's what happened in the comics to explain it. But they could have done 300 years, 3,000 years, it would have worked, but 3 million, it's just too much. That's one thing that's always bothered me with the series, and it comes up a couple of times. There's a few little things like that with the series, but you can't get too angry with them. They're a kid's show. They didn't know they were going to be doing a second, third season, fourth season, and a movie. They didn't know that it was going to be around for hundreds of. Now I'm getting confused about years. Around for decades, and probably will be around a few hundred years, and people will be sort of examining it. A lot of these early sort of 80s toy franchises, basically, they didn't appreciate the sort of universe building they were going to have to do. But so I'm just playing with my original Bumblebee. He's very loose. His head keeps popping down. He's going to be 40 years old next year, so I got this one recently though. Don't know how old he is when they started making them, but a bit of contrast there. But the other thing I meant to mention that was cool about the original releases that came out from America was they actually had booklets with the episodes and photos and everything. So I kept those and got rid of the original editions. And they did that with some of the Australian box sets like Super God Master Force and Headmasters and Victory. But mostly it was just the individual covers on the back had a write-up of each episode and an image. So I appreciated that, but back on the series as a whole, because I think I've talked longer than I planned to. I think kind of there are some really good stories, but I think one of the best stories was, of course, when they brought Cybertron into Earth's orbit, and that was kind of epic. But it was really just, I think, the best season because it was really just Optimus and the Autobots, trying to stop Megatron and the Decepticons from stealing power and resources from the Earth, to power their Cybertron and their battle against the Autobots. It was really simple and charming and really enjoyable. Once they got into the second season, things changed a bit, and I'm going to do a separate review of that. But I'm not going to go through each episode and review like the whole thing because it just would take too long, but maybe one day. But I just wanted to do a video about watching them, sort of rediscovering them. Like I said, I bought these a long time ago. I watched them when I first bought them, and I can't believe I haven't watched them in like at least a decade. I think because there's so many, you feel like you have to marathon the whole thing. I think I'm just going to try and just watch my favourite episodes and just do like a night of Transformers here and there when I'm just in the mood and feeling like some Transformers, instead of like, well, you have to make time to do a marathon of the whole series, and I never find the time. It's been a decade since I've got around to doing this. But yeah, first season, great, perfect. It's usually the case with TV shows where the first season they have it right, and then the wheels sort of come off as they keep going with these shows. Other ones, they get better. They sort of refine what made the show work. Other shows, they lose what made the show work and gets too complicated. But season 1, great. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Glad I have it. And the quality of the YouTube videos was really nice. The video was pretty good, and like I said, I've gone from the American version to the Australian version to the remastered version to the YouTube version, which I think it's probably the exact same print or scan or copy, but I just think the DVDs were a bit compressed, which can be an issue, particularly later with some of the other seasons. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.